Hi everyone, James here. Today I'm going to talk to you about just how important it is for you to rest your steak. This isn't just some cheffy trick. This is actually a really important part of your entire barbecuing experience. Resting your steak properly will make you a better cook. It's actually you finishing your cook correctly. You've put all that time in, all that effort in. You want to get it right when you come to eating it, and resting it is a key part of that. The resting principle applies to all meats, not just to steak. So today we're going to take you through a duck breast, a couple of pork steaks, pork tenderloin, and a rib on the bone. But before we can start any of that, we've got to get a good fire going. So we're going to get the duck on the plancha on this side, so we're not going to go quite so heavy on the heat here, and I'm going to split most of the embers over this side because we're going to do the steaks and the pork here, so we want that to be nice and hot. Okay, we've got a really nice spread of embers on both sides. It's time to start cooking. For the duck breast, I've scored the skin ever so slightly, and that's going to go on with no oil, just straight on the plancha. There's so much fat in the skin that will render and just keep it nicely separated from the plancha itself. It shouldn't stick, just because that fat will render straight away and you'll get a lovely brown colour on the outside. With the pork steaks, these are just going to give a little bit of salt and they're going to go straight on the V-grills. Yeah, you hear that sizzle, you know you're in good shape. Slightly odd looking, but really delicious tenderloin. I love pork tenderloin. Very, very underrated. It's the same muscle that we get fillet steak from in a cow, and it just needs to be cooked medium rare, and it's got a juiciness and a deep porky flavour that is so great. I'm really excited about cooking this. I can just go, oh, needs a bit of oil. This one needs a bit of oil, just so it doesn't stick. We'll throw that on, just on there. There you can see the duck rendering really nicely, and these pork steaks starting to take on some colour. Now we've got those nicely browned. We'll give it one more big hit in here, get all those new fresh embers down. Look at that, amazing. So much heat to cook on, which is great. We'll get cooking the forerib. Outdoor, grass-fed British beef. It is just, you can't beat it, you just can't beat it. The pork steaks we're gonna cook all the way through. The pork tenderloin, we're gonna leave a little bit of moisture in the middle. We're gonna leave it medium rare. We'll take these pork steaks off, then we can talk about what happens to the meat. So what's happened to these while they've been cooking? The muscle fibres contract and it pushes all the moisture to the centre of the steak. The heat starts to drive the juices outwards as the pressure builds up inside the meat. If you slice it immediately, all that pressure releases and it bursts out, and that's where you end up with a really wet plate. Whereas if you leave it and you allow the muscles to relax and that moisture to redistribute itself through the inside of the meat, it feels much nicer in your mouth when you chew because it's much more relaxed meat, and all that flavour isn't wasted. You see there's still lots of moisture inside the pork. If you hadn't arrested it, then that would have just burst out and gone all over the plate. One of the worries you hear about when people talk about resting their meat is it going to go cold? Well, the answer is no, because Somerset Grill has a really handy shelf just under there, which I'm not sure was designed for resting meat, but it's absolutely perfect. Just as an aside, it is amazing to have so much room on the grill to do all these different types of cooking. I mean, that rib there will probably feed 3 or 4 people. The loin itself will feed another 2, and the duck breast is for 1, and I've already done 2 pork steaks. So on the asado, I've got enough room to cook for at least 12 people. It's great. We've now rendered all the fat out of that duck skin. So we're now going to turn it over and cook the other side. And then we'll leave it to rest. So I imagine most of you are using a probe when you're cooking, which isn't cheating, by the way, it's totally fine. If you've got a target temperature, say you've got 53 degrees for your big hunk of steak, you want to pull it off the grill 5 degrees before it is cooked. The heat, the residual heat in the piece of meat will continue to cook it, and it will bring it up another 4 or 5 degrees. If you get it to the temperature you want while it's still on the grill, while you rest it, it's going to overcook. I don't cover it if I'm resting it, because if you put a cover on it, you tend to trap heat, and then it'll end up cooking for too long and it'll be overdone. This tenderloin is looking absolutely fantastic, and now again that's been cooking for about 10 minutes, so I'm going to rest it for 5, and we'll come back to it in a moment. We'll just slide it in the handy shelf. And now it's just the forerib that we've got to finish cooking. So what are a few of the common mistakes you can make? Well, you can over-rest stuff. It can go cold and a bit dry, and then it becomes a bit chewy. So be aware of your timings, half the amount of time you've cooked it. If you cut it too early, you haven't given it the chance to relax that it needs to. So essentially you've not done the thing you set out to do by resting it, allowing it to retain all its moisture, get nice and juicy. Maybe you put it into a cold resting surface so it's got cold too quickly, or you've covered it too tightly, as we talked about before. Your best to just slide it under here, as I said, and just leave it for half the amount of time you cooked it. It isn't too complicated. You see that red liquid running around on the plate? It's not blood. All the blood from the animal would have been removed during the slaughter process. With the ducks, they're hung for a few days. With the steak, it's hung for 28 days, 35 days, 21 days. It's loads of time for all the blood to leave the animal. What you're dealing with there is a thing called myoglobin, which is a protein that's mixed with a little bit of water. So when people complain their steak is too bloody, it isn't too bloody. It's myoglobin. This has been really well rested, and you'll see that it's got a nice, even colour to it, and still retaining loads of moisture. Just like that. 4 ribs rested, beautifully cooked. And as you can see, there's all that myoglobin at the bottom, not blood, myoglobin, which has just come out as it's relaxed. Now with a steak like this, there's a lot of fat in it. And what you're aiming for is that kind of luxurious, kind of soft fat. Remember, if it's still steaming, it's too hot. Here we are, there's the fat there. You see the fat's kind of gooey, not smoking hot, and not set. It's that lovely kind of coat the mouth deliciousness. And that's what you get when you rest it properly. And you have an even cook all the way through. You see, you have the nice centerpiece, which is still nice and pink, surrounded by the sort of very similar colors. And that is perhaps a perfect demonstration. You see how it's nice and evenly cooked. It's really lovely, soft, luxurious fat. And it's still warm enough to be delicious. Perfect. Now, you don't want to be wasting that myoglobin. Those are your cooking juices, and they go straight back over. Straight back over, just to moisten it one last time. Sorry about that. To leave you with an amazing Somerset Grill cooked 4 rib. If you've got any questions about any of that, just talk to me in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer anything that you might want to add. But just remember, this isn't a sort of throwaway thing. It's not optional. You kind of have to do it. Otherwise, all that effort and time you put into buying the best ingredients, cooking them really well, all the time you spent doing it, like, it's a bit of a waste if you don't then do that last bit, which is just allowing it to relax. It's a key part of the cooking process and really shouldn't be overlooked.